Hello, everyone. It is Monday and it is time for magic. It used to be Manifestation Mondays, but now it's Magic Mondays. And that's because we are reading Real Magic by Wayne Dyer. Lumiere made the point last week that he's going to die before we get through this book. And I just want to say we're not getting through this book. We're just taking it slow and steady. We're trying to sharpen the saw one Monday at a time. What does that mean, you guys, to sharpen the saw? Lumiere's dead.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I know what it means to sharpen a saw, but we're going to sharpen our own saws.
Well, they say that iron sharpens iron, but well, in the Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, he says that highly effective people sharpen the saw every day, which is to get better mentally, physically, and spiritually. So I went swimming today, sharpened my physical saw, and now I'm gonna sharpen my mental and spiritual saw with you two here because we're gonna learn some stuff and we're become spiritually better people. So, do you guys agree that that's the goal of our hour?
Yes,
Just to take it up one zone of development in our lives, spiritually and mentally, and that's all we can do. We might not get through the book for like a year, but we're gonna let Wayne Dyer take us higher.
that is a
Fire,
t-shirt
Wayne
right there.
Dyer.
That's a bumper sticker.
That's
Okay,
great.
we are on a list of suggestions for becoming a more spiritual being. Okay, so he says to keep your focus on purpose rather than outcome, keep your mind, body, and soul totally in the moment of your activity. Ask yourself, why truly am I doing this? You'll find that the outcome, the win or the reward, is just as fleeting as the moments you participate in the activity. Okay. What do you guys think about this? Outcome versus reward, or outcome versus just life purpose? How much should we do things for our life purpose versus the outcome of doing them?
Well, I focus less on outcome in my old age because I find more that the process is the outcome.
Interesting.
And I really I'm loving processes. Uh, Finishing something, sure, it's fun, but I really love the process, and the process is the most often the most satisfying thing for me.
So, like in making this show, we could focus on the outcome. Like, how many views did we get? And did we make any friends through this process? And did we, become a flying bird over the ocean? Because that would be real magic. But should we focus on that, or should we focus on our purpose, which is to sharpen the saw? Our purpose is to come together in this school that we're building, where we're just our purpose is to build an astrology school. At least my purpose. I don't know what your guys' purpose in doing this is, but so I can see where if you focus on the outcome, you get kind of deflated and you miss the reason for doing it in the first place.
Yeah, I mean the being here and doing what we're doing is the purpose for me. We're taking ideas and stretching them out like saltwater taffy to see what's in it, and for that hour is the outcome for me. That's all. That's what I want from it.
What about your job? Do you focus on the money that you get from doing the job, or do you focus on the purpose of the job itself?
No, I focus on the job because the but that's a great question because the money comes every 2 weeks. It doesn't. It just sustains me. I don't really do anything with it except pay bills and you know buy juice every now and then. But actually, more now than then. But if I only think about I'm doing this for the money, then I think I lose the everyday enjoyment of what I do. Not, and it's maybe not even enjoyment because it's work, but reward. Let's say the reward. The work is the reward for me.
That must make you have a good mind frame at work because you see the work itself as rewarding, and you don't just do it and then get this reward every 2 weeks.
It's not like, yeah, I know people that do their job to get it out of the way so they can get the money and then do whatever it is they want. And I think I did that at some point, but it made me realize that you're spending so much time. You realize how much time you spend at work. You're so much time waiting for something else to happen instead of the thing that you're doing. It was just really depressing.
Yeah.
So
What about you, Jay-Z? Do you focus on the money or the work?
Oh, the work is what I like for sure. And also, I have to say this whole thing reminds me of, the manifestation part too, of like you can't really focus on the outcome or you're perpetually like I'm not really disappointed that it hasn't happened yet, but like you're waiting for it to happen, kind of like what Lumiere just said. Like, and when if you spend your whole life waiting for things to happen instead of enjoying the moment that you're in right there, then that's what people consider like a wasted life.
It's interesting. I want to take it a little further than Wayne, not further than Wayne Dyer, but I don't always just agree blindly with our authors. But like, okay, so check out this hat. That this is your hat, Jason. Okay.
Oh, nice.
oh man, that's beautiful.
Would you wear this, Jay-Z?
I'm not sure what I'm gonna wear it to.
Well,
You could
maybe you
wear it here.
can wear it on this video. Should I not send it to you?
Um, well, it depends if you want to send it to someone who might not wear it a lot. That's amazing, though.
Okay,
It is great.
so if I just focus on the process of making this hat and I ignored the outcome, I think I would be missing some of the joy of this hat. Like I actually really got into the process of the hat, right? But like the
Yeah,
outcome is actually bomb. Like this hat's kind of cute, you know? And
Well,
so,
what
yeah.
is the outcome? That it's finished or that it's for Jay-Z?
well, that's no longer the outcome because JC doesn't want it.
He just blew it off.
So yeah, so I'm, I don't know, but like there's this little guy too, and like this is for
That is.
this is
It,
but she's a Virgo
I,
rising Leo, so she's a
it,
lion with a Virgo mane. But
it looks like a voodoo doll. It's got a stick in it.
That
no,
is.
just kidding. Whatever. I'm always nice to my voodoo dolls. I was always like, here, I'll clean your ear out, whatever. But the thing is, I think this is like our conversation about extrinsic and intrinsic reward of, should you do something merely for the intrinsic reward of feeling good through the process, or should you do it for some extrinsic validation where people from the outside are be like, oh, that's such a cute little lion, that's like the extrinsic reward. And like as an artist, there was a day where I decided I'm only going to make projects that have an extrinsic and intrinsic reward, which is
Whoa.
enjoyed making it and the outcome was bomb. Because I don't want to waste my day crocheting something that's just going to get thrown. I have things that sit around that I crocheted that no one wants. And I'm like, that was a wasted process. I could have enjoyed the process of making something else just as much. So I'm not saying Wayne, but I see what Wayne Dyer's saying. It's like don't only focus on the crocheted object, like, oh, this is what it's all about. It's also about the act of crocheting. Like I get it. But also I think if you're really living life, you focus on process and outcome.
All right. What about the Course in Miracles? One of the early lessons of we don't know what anything is for. Like, so what if you were making this hat because I was like, whoa, that is a cool hat. And you're like, oh, cool. I'm gonna send this to Jay-Z. And then you say, oh, Jay-Z, I'm psyched to send it to you because I know you're gonna wear it a lot. And I'm like, oh, I'm not sure I'm gonna wear it a lot. And then does it take away from your former happy feelings of thinking that I was gonna wear it a lot? Does it make you feel now you sh wasted your time?
Well, I feel like you're right. Like if I was focused on the outcome of like Jay-Z, this hat's for Jay-Z. Well, it's like if I just focus on the process of the hat now existing in the world, it's like now I'm wearing it right now and I feel freaking awesome.
Actually, that hat looks great on
I
you.
know.
Does look
That's
great
like,
on you.
dude, I'm freaking clowning around in this hat right now. Start all the clowns
Yes.
out.
And
Okay.
like the thing right on the same level as your nose.
That's really great.
So so the thing is, it's like I think we could reinvent the outcome. If the outcome is something we don't like, we could go into the spiritual level and be like, all right, I'm gonna keep molding this outcome until I like it. You remember when we got low numbers and then we're like, we love low numbers. We're punk rocks and we love low numbers. You remember that when we were just like, yeah, low numbers. I only want low numbers. Like, and then you just like reclaim the outcome until you like it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you
Yeah,
could, yeah, change the outcome, change your
change
goal.
change the meaning of the outcome.
Yeah.
Once you
Yeah.
see what the outcome is, you
Right.
Yeah.
change the meaning of the outcome, and then you're fine too. So I
I,
don't know, maybe it's semantics, whether
yeah.
you're
I think we do that naturally too. Like you drop a cup of coffee and the cup breaks and you think, ah, I didn't want that coffee anyway.
Yeah, that's being like posse core to the maximum town. Like where you're just like, yeah, whatever the outcome is, I'm fine and awesome with it. But I think the point of what Wayne Dyer is saying and what we should grok today is don't be only don't be obsessed with the numbers on your YouTube channel. Be into the process. That's the way to have a magical life, like Lumiere was saying. Like he's in the process of his job, and so he has a magical life every day. And that's, I think, the point here.
Yeah. So he says, truly, why am I doing this? And that's that's the question to ask.
Yeah. Okay. The next one is to rid yourself of a preoccupation with valueless things. Rethink your attitude about your possessions. Make an inventory of everything you own. Is there anything in that inventory that you would die for? Detach yourself from possessions and get your life purpose, which is to make the daily thoughts and actions of your life work towards blah, blah, blah. So let's talk about possessions. Jay-Z is one of my possessions. No, I'm just kidding. Can you imagine if I really thought that?
you
Jay-Z
created.
would have to get a leash and just tie it off screen.
When you act like you own your friend.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
All right. Valueless things. Um, yeah, in answer to his perhaps rhetorical question, is there anything in the inventory of everything you own that you would die for? I'd have to say absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's
Well, you've been mad thrifting. You've been mad thrift store shopping.
yeah, and at the same time, it's like I like when I pick out things and then I have them and I can use them and play with them. And also, I kind of have a running list of things I would like to get to play with, but I don't really have an urgency of acquiring them because I know like maybe I'll find them at a thrift store or they'll manifest in some other way but the thrift store thing is a th is a good point. Like you get some pretty amazing things there real inexpensively. And it does make me, when I get things at thrift stores, allows me to think that I can get rid of more stuff because I can always find more stuff later. Does that make sense?
Sure, you're on a roller coaster,
Yeah.
or a hamster wheel of stuff in, stuff out.
Well,
Yeah.
my experience with that is very little ever goes out when it comes in. But if I go to the thrift store and I buy a bunch of stuff for myself, that's great, and I could leave it. If you give it to me, I have a really hard time getting rid of it. I don't think I would die for it, but if I bought this, it would not it would not mean as much to me as it does because you gave it to me. And this is another thing I have, which is Alexander the Man Who Knows.
Uh-huh.
It's fun because of what it says, but also I remember who gave it to me, so I can't get rid of that.
I love that zebra outcome. It's so cute.
Yes, that was an outcome, but you also enjoyed the process.
Oh, totally. Well, I love the point you're making is it's not things that are important. It's the meaning around the thing and the person attached to the thing that makes things even important. And we learn this in the Course of Miracles. Nothing means anything except for the meaning you attach to it. Right. The only reason this hat even means something is because we had this whole storyline going about the hat and like, was it going to go to Jay-Z and now it's not and like whatever. So now this hat is kind of meaningful because it's like a storyline prop for the Moira Press crew or whatever. I don't know. But basically, I think, yeah, like I do want to speak to the things though and what they do. Like in our Enlightenment book, Jay-Z, we're talking about building sandcastles on the beach and how if you in order to stay enlightened, having the light inside, you got to kind of move stuff around with your chi. Like it was saying that the parents on the beach sit in the chair in still in one position, their mind just races like what should I be doing, where blah blah blah. And the kids are moving sand around, and because of that, they are zen. They're moving their chi basically. I think stuff allows us to move our chi in meaningful ways. Like my crochet hook allows me to, make the zebra. And so that thing, the crochet hook is a very meaningful thing to me, right? Because it allows me to build sand castles with outcomes I like, honestly. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like there's a million things in my room that just have lost their meaning because I'm not moving that sandcastle right now. You know?
But if you got a different number 6 crochet needle, you would like it as much, right? Or no?
It depends. Now, if Alexander sent me a special crochet hook 6 with a zebra on it, I would cherish that one. Like,
Yeah, that's interesting. When I was younger, I read this book called Clutter Control that my sister gave to me. And the whole thing about like how to pare down your possessions. And one of the things they were talking about was how it's the sentimental value often about things and not the thing itself. So if you're trying to get rid of stuff like the tennis racket that you won the tournament in your senior year in high school, but you can't like let go of it, it's like take a picture of the tennis racket and then get rid of the tennis racket and acknowledge that it's the meaning and not the object.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have a problem with that kind of stuff. The old stuff from earlier in my life, I sometimes can't wait to get rid of it. But
Mhm.
my first thought was, so why did your sister give you that?
Oh yeah, my sister likes to give me things that cycle through her that she likes, and
Oh,
then
she wasn't making a point.
no, no. Although my mom did once call me a hoarder or something, but it's not true. And for one, and for two, I was like so horrified that she said that I then for the next few years had to prove that I wasn't by getting rid of a whole bunch of stuff.
you actually have a very zen
Sister is fun.
aesthetic, like with like a
Yeah,
very clean.
I'm
But
throwing
yeah,
this out, Mom.
yeah. Well, the
It's like
thing
nothing
is,
in your
Look, I'm throwing
palette.
this out, Mom.
I did really intentionally try to not be attached to stuff. And that's part of the reason I think I built a tiny house, like to pare down my things to that much stuff. And I lived aboard a boat and for 5 years. And in doing that, you really have to get rid of all of your stuff. And I've come through that on the other side of now I'm like, I live on land, I have a nice big house, and I can have the stuff I want, and I much prefer it.
Yeah, I like my stuff. I'll tell you a story about stuff getting taken away from me. I was put in the hospital for a month and I couldn't get to my stuff. And I went through all my manias that I go through. She came in through the planets. I was just in my manias and I couldn't get to my crochet needle or any of my stuff. And so I kept having to build puzzles and take them down in the hospital because I had to move my chi around, so I'd build puzzles. And then it would just get taken down. And I wasted a lot of manias in there. I could have been making animals and like I look at this thing and I'm just like, oh man, this is gonna turn into a plant. I just have this plant pattern, I can make leaves out of this. And like I'm like, I see the stuff that's gonna come out of this and stuff. And it's like, so I didn't end up making a lot of drawings with crayons in there, but like a crayon drawing is super chintzy and no one wants it. No one wants it on their wall because it's less specific than a drawing or painting made somewhere else. It just inhibited my artistic ability and like to not have my stuff. And so I think I learned the value of art supplies, especially as a maniac. It's like if you don't have your supplies, you can't make the level of stuff, the outcome. But I was just do the process and then the outcome, I'd be like, whatevs, kind of thing. But
Mm.
Another sand mandala.
yeah, what about those monks who build the sand thing and then just blow it away or whatever?
Yeah, right.
Isn't that supposed to teach you this lesson, probably?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they
it
could take
is.
now they could take a picture of it.
Yeah, and I think it's unnecessary in a way. Like, I really do. I think that, like, yeah, I lived on a boat and everything got destroyed because you're on the salt water. Everything's getting wet all the time and damp and corroded. Everything just gets so destroyed. And so now I think, like, oh, I don't need things because they're all just going to get destroyed anyway. But it
Mm.
is nice to be able to have things, and it's like, what's wrong with the middle path?
Can we look at people like stuff? Like, don't get attached to people because they might just go away.
Die.
Or, yeah, they might die. Don't get attached to your stuff. Is that
I
different?
can't help it. I'm really attached to the people I'm attached to. I
Yeah.
don't look at them in the same light as things.
That would be kind of,
There's that question about the. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
no, I interrupted you.
No, I interrupted you. There's that question about, if the house was on fire, what would you grab on the way out the door? And that's not quite what we're asking now, but I think about it often. Like, is there any of this crap that I would take with me? You would take your phone, of course, and maybe my laptop because my creativity is on it. Um, but I'm not sure what else. I mean, it depends on how much time I have.
It's not backed up to the cloud.
Yeah, well, most of it is. I have a few things that aren't. I have one bit of software that doesn't back up very well. But yeah, but that's a good point too. And I would hate to lose some of the photos that I have, but or the books. And of course, you would hate to lose that stuff. But what would I grab on the way out the door? Really, just my kids. What would they grab? Not me.
They would grab their Xbox or whatever.
Yeah, one would grab the Xbox and the other would grab analog VCR. But
And the reason you grab your phone is because it's got all your people in it.
yes, right. And my community is in my phone, which is, probably not the greatest thing to think, but your community is in your phone if you have a community. So,
That's actually a great thing to think. I mean, a community, the people, what we're learning is that people and meaning is everything, and that the things are just stuff. That's how I quit smoking was the Course in Miracles when it taught us that the only meaning we have is what we put on things. I was like, oh, I created all the meaning around these cigarettes. And I was like, they mean nothing to me, these lifeless sticks of nothing. And then like I just took all the
and you
meaning off the cigarettes.
and you stop just like that.
Well, I also got hypnotized, but the Course in Miracle really helped because I really realized that I was creating the meaning around them. So really all that means something to me is the people because we are the meaning creators.
Mm.
All right, don't be into stuff. Don't be too into stuff. That's your spiritual lesson for today.
That's that's the summary of that bullet point.
or be preoccupied with valuable things,
Yeah.
not valueless ones.
Time is time. Be preoccupied with time. I don't know. Okay. The next one is to conduct yourself on a spiritual plane. Begin living one day at a time, emphasizing ethics rather than rules. Hmm.
Well, I like this one.
Do tell. What do you like? Oh,
Oh, because actually, it's interpreting. Interpreting um, taught me ethics that I like, and I try and follow them everywhere, not just in at work. So it's taught me that to live by my ethics, I guess. And very often I do that, even out of work.
yeah. The code of ethics in sign language interpreting is pretty beefy. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't find any fault with it.
Yeah. Jason,
So,
what were you gonna say?
Well, it's interesting to me that he says says to do this experiment where rather than conducting your life according to someone else's rules, try having an ethics day for yourself. And I pose the question to you guys, like, how many rules of other people that you don't want to follow do you follow versus your own ethics every day? Like, I I would say that I don't really follow any rules that I don't believe in my day-to-day life. Do you guys? Or maybe you can remind me of
Oh,
some that
here's
I
an example. So in a astrology, there's this constant rule that people expect me to follow, which is never look at a chart without someone's permission. That's like a rule you're supposed to follow when you're an astrologer. And I have ethics that go beyond that. Like if someone's a serial killer and they live next door to me, I will absolutely look at their chart without their permission to see when they're in a violent state. It's like there are times where my ethics know better than, because that's actually life or death. And, I mean, I just think ethics goes beyond rules where rules are kind of simplistic, but ethics, you think about each case by case basis of like, what is the best right choice here? Like
Mhm.
in act utilitarianism, they say it's never okay to kill, but if if someone's about to shoot 10 children and you shoot that person, that's actually the ethical choice because you save 10 lives, right? Like so it's like ethics kind of go beyond like basic rules. And I don't know why this makes you more spiritual to live ethically. I mean, like you and I were
I
having this
think it,
discussion before this. Is it ethical for you to order things and then use them and then send them back? And you're like, well, I'm following the rule. And I'm like, yeah, but are you following the ethic and ethos of the rule? So I was asking you to look above the rule to the ethic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, so to fill people in on what the conversation was, it was about buying things on Amazon Prime just because I want them sent to me to play around with them, and then I just bring them back. And is that ethical or not ethical when they have a 30-day you can return anything for any reason uh rule, like
policy.
policy, yeah. And my argument is that it is completely ethical for me to do that. So, but
I had to
that's
get the Jesse doll.
a
Very bad.
We don't spank now. Um,
It was
well,
ethical to
the
save
whole
Jesse. It was ethical.
You're doing
uh,
it for the greater good.
That's right.
To teach everybody a lesson.
Oh shit.
well, I could argue in favor of Jesse's idea because the old school was that say you were something big like a department store and you bought something knowing you were going to bring it back. Well, you know that they may not be able to sell it again, or they're going to take a loss, and you know that department store and everybody there, and you just buy it from Mildred, and then you bring it back to the service desk later. And so there was some stigma that it wasn't entirely ethical because you were buying it knowing you were not going to keep it, and that you were going to let them eat it, whatever that meant to them. But Amazon's different
Why?
because they have their policy is to they have incorporated that return idea into their policies about selling. It's
And
just
into
part of
their
their
pricing model.
capitalistic huh?
And into their pricing model.
Yeah. And very often if you buy a blue Hobbin jogger from Amazon and you call them and say, I don't know this for a fact, but I've heard from people, and you call and say, I don't need this anymore, they'll just say, we'll credit your account. Um, well, I know how I know this. It's unethical of me to say how, but they'll say, we'll credit your account, but just get rid of it because they've already it's in their pricing structure.
Yeah.
Still disagree with Jay-Z, and I'm mad at him.
It's unethical for you to be
Oh,
mad at me over it.
no, it's not. I'm pulling your
Okay.
beard now. I'm pulling your beard.
All right.
Headlock! Headlock!
You
But
also said that you don't use dolls like voodoo dolls,
I
so
wasn't. That was
yeah,
legit you I was putting in a headlock. It wasn't even the doll. I think
no,
it's ethical for me to put Jay-Z in a headlock as a doll.
no, because I've done nothing wrong.
Ah!
Except I gotta say, it perhaps is unethical because to not for the sake of like Amazon, but for the sake of the planet. That I know that some truck is driving things to my house and then it's wasteful because I'm gonna send the thing back, the truck is gonna drive it back to them. And yeah, like maybe that's the unethical part of my ordering things that I know I'll return.
I can see that. I can see that. On the other hand, you could say I'm giving that driver work, but you could argue back and forth probably all day.
God, in ethics, there's just a million sides of this equation to look at.
That's why I like it.
I feel so spiritual looking at things from many perspectives.
When I was in the interpreting program, we would spend 2 hours just discussing one ethical dilemma
Yeah.
in a class of 10. And first of all, I was in hog heaven. And secondly, that it's not something you can come to a real conclusion on very often.
You can make a defensible position,
You could. I
which is
love
what
that phrase.
Jay-Z did. That's what Jay-Z just did.
He did.
Now I'm going to
He,
allow him to sit here with Debbie DiStefano.
Aw.
oh, that's sweet.
Aw. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, I love that. Hey.
Whatever.
I don't know this person.
Oh, she's a
All
teacher.
right.
Okay.
Well, what about this? I'm only following the law or I'm only following the rules when you do something that like that is your only defense. How often does that happen?
Trying to think of an example. I was only following the law.
Yeah, but that makes me twitch because um, it reminds me of I was only following orders.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
that's what
wiped out this orphanage because I was just following orders. So that
It'd be like if I was in an interpreting job and I was doing like a medical interpreting job and I'm supposed to turn my camera off when the doctor leaves the room. That's like the rules. But the person was dying and they're like, please keep your camera on. I'm dying right now, like literally. Like I'd be like, it's just the rules. I gotta turn my camera off, But like maybe the larger rules of life are when someone's literally at their last breath, you keep your camera on. You know what I mean? Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
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 Well, his example is the laws told black people to sit in the back of the bus. The laws said women could not vote, and the laws said owning a submachine gun was fine. So you know this is old because he didn't say semi-automatic. But
Yeah, that was a weird uh piece of propaganda.
yeah, but I mean, what laws are we talking about too? Are we talking about our own internal laws? I mean, we drive on the right side of the road here in the U.S., so we follow the law. And we might not think that it's ethical someday. I don't know why I need to do this. This is not ethical. We make more left turns than right turns, so I just probably want to be on the left side of the road. But we follow that law. So which laws are they talking about?
Well, it was legal for me to drink like 10 beers a day. Like because I wasn't doing anything illegal. But was it ethical really? Like it wasn't really a good idea. You know what I mean?
It's not unethical though.
Well, I think it well, I think it's unethical to deteriorate your own system to try to placate people by killing your spirit. But yeah, I get it. I get it. But like I think what the point of Wayne Dyer's paragraph here is don't be like a lackey to laws. Be an excellent ethical human and really think about what you're doing in each case.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
I like it too. The whole idea of thinking about what you're doing in each case is the mantra I want to take with me wherever I go, whenever I go.
Yeah.
So that was profound. Any more profound than get yourself away from the rules, which is what he said.
Yeah. Okay. The next one is to become more peaceful with yourself and the world. Give yourself a quiet time alone daily for 1 week. This is extremely important and something you will likely resist. Okay. In order to become more peaceful, give yourself quiet time daily. What do you guys think of this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I need that. Yeah. It's weird. He comes from a perspective of like that it will be difficult to do or you'll resist it or whatever. And I'm like, hell's bring it on. More alone time.
Well, you're a yogi, so like you intentionally do your alone yoga peaceful time to center daily. Do you do
Yeah.
yoga daily?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you take alone time, Lumiere?
Well, I want to know how much alone time he's talking about. This is personal, but between the time son number two or youngest son, I don't remember them, youngest son leaves the house and I have to go to work, I have about 20 minutes. And sometimes I don't do any of the things that I think I'm going to do. I just sit there and drink coffee. So that's alone time. And he might be talking about something more intentional than what I'm talking about. With me, it's a sort of, oh God feeling. I just need to be alone. One of the things I felt during COVID was that I could not ever be alone.
Yeah, that was tough.
And that was tough, you know. And I would go out for a walk, and because people were home and bored, they were all out walking. Jesus Christ, I can't even go for a walk alone. So I had to wait till it was raining. What about you guys?
Well, I have a lot to say about this one because I take the CEO too, which is CEOs take 2 hours of thinking time a day and they do it relentlessly. Like today I did mine while swimming. And when I'm stuck in that pool, I know I'm around people, but I'm actually alone because I'm not with my computer or my phone or anything like that. And I'm just in the lane, like
Um,
I'm just alone. Or when I'm driving in the car, I'm alone. But I've learned to downstim because I don't drink or smoke or anything like that. So I've had to learn to downstim. And I do find, especially if there's a tense situation going on, I need alone time to write in my journal by myself. Because otherwise, what will happen is I'll be like talking to my boyfriend about the situation. I just sound like a drama queen. I'll be like, and then this happened, and then But if I have 2 hours to down sim and say like, God, was your will for this situation, and just write about that, then I go to my boyfriend. I'm just like, hey, how's it going? Like, and I seem like a much less dramatic, more centered version of what I would like to be. Actually, I don't want to be full of drama or talking about my problems. I want to figure those out between me and God and then go about my day. And so I do think this alone time is crucial for me in order to be the Zen centered spiritual person that Wayne Dyer's asking me to be.
That's interesting. Wayne is knocking on your door. Make sure you have your alone time. It's interesting to me how you interpret that, because to me, alone time is sitting in a chair on my butt and just staring at the ceiling and being lost in my head. But swimming is alone time to you, right?
It can be. Yeah.
Jay Z, is it just yoga for you?
Well, also, since we did that book, Scripting the Life You Want, right? That book. Um, I also start my day by writing in my journal, my journal entry. I write three things. I write one page of affirmations. They're the same 10 things I write every single day. I write the same 10 phrases. And the second thing is I write my decrees. They used to be my wants, but now they're my decrees. And now I've started writing like of lately the same 15 of those every single day. And then I write a page that's the fake journal entry from the end of the day. And I just popped over to because I do it in a, program on my laptop. And I have 807 entries. I started it
Wow,
on uh, Friday, May 24th of last year.
Wow.
And yeah, I've been pretty much writing in it
that's great.
almost every day.
That's great. And you're coming up on your anniversary.
Yeah, I had no idea, but it did feel like I've been doing it for a while. But I am like king of consistency. Once I incorporate something into my like daily routine, I just do that. And I think that's why I need so ridiculously much alone time, because it's the way that I get through all of my rituals.
Yeah, since I got sober, which was about like 18 months or 19 months ago, I have like 17 journals I've written of just like me being alone. Yeah. So
Huh.
that writing piece, like, writing between your own thoughts and the paper, just purging your thoughts, I think is so healing and so down stimming. Like the peace factor is a lot bigger once you do that. Now we know why Lumiere is a nihilist and we're like shiny happy people. It's because we down stim.
Is that right? Well, I long to be alone to write, but I don't write anything about me. I mean, you could probably say it's in there somewhere, but I just, because being a writer, you can't do it, while flipping hamburgers and talking to people. You have to be alone. So,
That's true.
so I do that, but I don't do it the way you do. Maybe it would help me if I did it more the way you guys do it. But
Maybe it would help us if we flip some burgers and talk to some people. We're too zen. In fact, Jay-Z is just laying there lifeless right now. Like you are like look how zen he is. He's just like, oh my ugh.
Well, he gets that way after he's been spanked.
Uh,
Now he's
yeah.
being patted on the butt because he's not doing anything unethical right now.
But you spanked him, so he's emotionally drained.
Okay, he's a man for crying out loud.
Oh, gender stereotyping. I see that.
Dude.
Ooh.
Oh man, it's getting spicier on here. Yeah. Well, I think this might actually be a good place to stop if that's okay with you guys, because we only have 2 minutes and I don't want to rush the next one.
Oh
No,
yeah,
it's a good,
absolutely.
and we there was stuff to talk about with this, and yeah.
Well, I'm glad that I possess you both. I'm getting more spiritual by keeping people as possessions.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are we in your stable?
Yeah, you're in my unstable.
That's funny.
I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I won't try to own you.
I love you too. Well, nobody owns me, so feel free.
Want to see my bloomers?
I'm up for grab. Yeah,
Yeah,
baby.
I'll
yeah.
grab you on May 18th at the Grill and Chill. Check out my bloomers.
Ooh, nice
Oh,
bloomer.
they're very nice. Wow. Did you
They're very roughy.
did you make those?
No.
Where'd you get them?
I ordered it and I'm wearing them like 100 times, then I'm gonna send them back.
As long as you
Oh, you
get them
got
back
them in
within a month.
Amazon.
Yeah, what?
You got them in Amazon.
I did at Amazon.
Well, I
That's
like your
really,
Astro School shirt too, Andy.
Thank you.
yeah.
Love it. I love it. Astro School.
Yeah,
All
that's
right, you
awesome.
guys. I love you. So, Jeezy, I'm gonna see if this recording works, but you might have to email me the recording as well.
Okay.
Okay. So tomorrow you guys are doing something at
Oh,
the,
are you gonna show up tomorrow?
well,
Oh
no,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I probably won't. I work till 3, and I thought maybe I would show up and listen at 3, Designing the Mind. That's right. Which I can't get at a bookstore. The independent bookstore that I went to said you can only get it through them or Amazon.
Like Lumiere, you showed up at 2:36 last week.
Did I?
Yeah,
I didn't see anything.
that's good.
No,
Well,
I showed up late last week
that's
and you were like, I've moved on. And I'm like, okay, touche. That's
wait. Are
good.
you gonna show up tomorrow?
I am
I
gonna show
can't
up
show up
on
at 2.
time tomorrow. I
What
am.
Okay.
you are?
5:30.
Okay,
What
cool.
time do you start, Andy? Our time.
2:30.
I can't at 2:30, but
Go
I could
on
show
for
up halfway
5:30.
through at 3 o'clock. Are you just an hour?
Yeah, come halfway through.
I'll just listen and see what it's like to design the mind
All right.
when it's mush.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all
In the
tomorrow.
meantime, I think I'm going to order the book from the website, the publisher.
All right.
Oh, you should. It's good.
Okay,
All right,
but yeah,
cuties.
I'm taking Linda Kruzmark out for her birthday tomorrow, but not till 4.
Okay, cool. We got an hour with you. All right, cuties. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Peace.
Bye.